After some time you wonder why you existed at all. I don't know if you've seen… Have you been close quarters with people who die? Have you seen people dying? 80% of the people who die on this planet, the last moment of their exit, what you see on their face is bewilderment, because life did not even begin. All that happened is thought and emotion. Thought and emotion is psychological process, it is not existential life. When the moment of death comes, suddenly they realize they never lived. That should not happen to you. Whatever may happen to you or whatever may not happen to you, you should not avoid this life and go away, isn't it? You must experience this life and go. If you're experiencing this life, because you cannot experience any other life, please see this, you can only experience this life. If you experience this life in its full depth and dimension, this is your spiritual process. If you experience this life in full depth and dimension, you will naturally be blissful. When you are pleasant, you will naturally be pleasant to everything around you, isn't it so? When you are feeling wonderful, aren't you wonderful to everybody? When you are feeling nasty, you tend to be nasty to other people too. This is the only insurance. We have always tried to produce good people, that's a huge mistake. We need sensible and joyful people on this planet. Joy is an insurance, please see this. When a man is joyful, he is a wonderful human being. When he is not, you can't trust him. Yes or no? Is that true with you? Yes or no? When you're very happy, aren't you a wonderful human being? We can trust you with anything, because you will be pleasant to everything around you. When you are feeling unpleasant, we cannot trust you as to how you will behave, isn't it? It doesn't matter how much morality has gone into you, how much teaching has gone into you, how much religion has gone into you, still we can't trust you because you will find loopholes in everything. After all, it was all created by you, so you can also find loopholes in it. Haven't we found? But when a man is happy, you will see he's fine with everything around him. Please, if you have questions, any kind of question.
How do we get in touch or start the process of getting in touch of the journey within? Is it just through meditation? I believe it can happen just suddenly.
Yes, please. How do we get there? As I said earlier, nothing ails to you unless you pay attention to it. Is that so? Even with your outside life? Nothing really ails unless you pay attention to it, isn't it? So this needs some attention too. When I say attention, not standing in front of the mirror and paying attention, not that kind. It needs an attention to you. When I say you, I am not talking about your body, I am not talking about your mind, because your body and your mind are an accumulation. You gathered them over a period of time, isn't it? When you were born, you were only so much. Now you become this much, how? All the food that you've eaten, this is just a heap of food, isn't it? What you call as my mind is a heap of impressions. So what you gather can be yours, but cannot be you, isn't it so? Is that okay? I'm sitting here, suddenly if I say, this tumbler is mine, you'll think, oh, okay, Sadhguru has some problem. But it's okay, people say he is wise, let's listen. After some time, I say, this is me. Then you say, let's go. Yes or no? This is what has happened to you. Let's say food came upon your plate, you look at this food and say, this is my food. You say, okay. After some time you eat it, and then you say, this is me. This is a serious problem, isn't it? Yes or no? a very serious problem. All this countless number of people who walk this planet before you and me, where are they? They're all topsoil, isn't it? This one will also become topsoil unless somebody chooses to bury you real deep, fearing that you may rise from the dead or something like that. So what you accumulate cannot be you. Paying attention to your body, paying attention to your mind is not paying attention to yourself. Right now you have no faculty to pay attention to yourself because you have only 5 sense organs. The other dimensions of perception will not open up unless there is a little bit of attention and striving towards that. So we have evolved a system where if we can keep you or hold you for about 28 to 30 hours in a focused atmosphere, we can give you another dimension of perception, which is not of the outward. Something beyond the body, something beyond the mind becomes alive within you. That much attention is needed. We've been trying to evolve various systems to compress this and compress this. We have found if we compress this any more than this, it could become ridiculous. So, about 28 to 30 hours of focus time. When I say focus, I am not talking about mental focus. I am talking about focus of a different kind. Due to lack of vocabulary, I am saying focus. A kind of atmosphere. See, this is… what is this? Is it technology or is it medical institution? Management, okay. There are doctors in the crowd. Are there surgeons? Okay. Are you a surgeon? Okay. How many people die on your table every year? Oh, okay. So if I ask this to any surgeon, generally most surgeons, including the bad ones, average success is 99.5% success across the world, really. That is because there are a few bad ones who add that 0.5. Dying on the table is rare now, isn't it? There was a time, in this country there is recorded history that for more than 12,000 years we've been conducting surgery, major surgeries in this country. But they did it under the tree. When there was no other way, when they were quite sure the man will die, last resort, they would open him up and do whatever they could do. Maybe the surgeons were as capable as you are today, as sure-handed as you are today, but still success rate was around 25 to 30%, 70% of the people moved on. This is essentially because the surgery was conducted under the tree. Today, we have fixed the conditions. The surgery room is sanitized in such a way, almost they're more rigorous than the religious people. And you're glad they are, isn't it? Suppose we take off the operation rooms and we ask all the surgeons to conduct their surgery on the street side, once again the percentage will drop to 25% success. Am I okay on this? With all the modern technology, it doesn't matter. You do it on the street, only 25% will survive, others will go. It's because the atmosphere is fixed. Now you want a spiritual process to happen. We want to touch a dimension which is beyond the body, a deeper surgery than any surgeon can do. And you want to do it on the street side. No, it won't work like that. That is why probably we have acquired a reputation of being almost fanatically rigid. These atmospheres are maintained. That's the reason why the experience at Isha is so strong. See, today we are about 1,800 full-time volunteers and over 1 million part-time volunteers across the world. We are not offering them any miracles, no ticket to heaven, nothing. all of them working without any salaries, without any income. We are like, 7 days of the week, 365 days, our schedules are 20 hours a day, 18 to 20 hours a day. Why are people working like this? Just the strength of their experience. And one important ingredient is, yes, we train the surgeons also well, but one important ingredient is we maintain the atmosphere in such a way that nothing can ever go wrong. It looks very rigid. If you see your mother is ill, you want to go into the operation room, it doesn't matter who you are, they just push you out. Do they or no? Or you're crying, it's okay, you come and cry inside the operation theatre, they won't allow you. It doesn't matter what your emotion is, just they push you out, isn't it? Because of that your mother may survive, because they didn't let you in. Isn't it so? So, we maintain similar conditions for which we're very unpopular. But that's the reason why it works. Without the necessary atmosphere, either out of unscrupulousness or over-eagerness, people started doing spiritual process on the street side, and that's why it's become so ridiculous. Today, anybody who considers himself a reasonably intelligent person doesn't want to have anything to do with spiritual process because it's become such a ridiculous nonsense, been presented in such a horrific way. If you need intelligence to be successful in your outside reality, you need much more to transcend that dimension and reach another dimension, isn't it? But today it has become like this, if you are no good at anything in the world, then you become spiritual. Isn't it so? If you're not good for anything else in this world, then you naturally turn spiritual. That's not how it is. That's not the kind of spirituality I'm talking about. So, it needs a committed atmosphere. Without that, subjective technologies cannot be opened up unless there is a very focused and committed space. Without that, it cannot be done. That's the reason why these atmospheres are set like this. This is too casual. Please.
My question is just that if I am not my body or my mind, so how can I be defined, or can I ever be defined?
How can?
I be defined, or can I ever be defined?
That's your problem. Why are you telling me?
So, if I am not my body or my mind, then what is it? How do I know I exist or whatever?
When you were born, were you this big?
And
When you were born, were you this big?
no.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you gathered the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you were born, did you have all this thought in your head that you have now?
No.
Obviously you gathered that also.
Yeah.
So what you gather cannot be you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is not my invention, this is your condition.
Okay.
Isn't it so?
Yeah.
It's not my invention. So what am I? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So this is ridiculous. So now you're in a condition where I can tell you anything I want. So this is what a lot of people have been doing. The moment you ask this question, they'll tell you you're Atman, your soul, you're this, you're that. All that this does is, I'm adding extra vocabulary to you. You're there, now I give you one more word, you're Atman, you're happy for some time. After some time you want to know what is Atman. Then I say Atman is a droplet of Paramatman. You are very happy for some time. Then you come back and say, what is Paramatman? This goes on, I'm adding vocabulary to you, nothing else. So if I essentially speak about something which is not yet in your experience, the only choice you have is either to believe me or to disbelieve me, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you believe me, you will not get any closer to truth. If you disbelieve me, you will not get any closer to truth. You'll just have a story, yes?
Yeah.
If you believe me, you will have a nice story. If you disbelieve me, you have a nasty story. But you don't get anywhere. So what shall we do, tell me?
I don't know.
Hmm? What shall we do?
I don't know.
Do you exist?
I think I do, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I do.
So that's not in question. Your existence is not in question. The nature of your existence is in question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your very existence is not in question. You know you're there. But what is this is the question. If I tell you, it is not going to solve the problem. But do you understand what it means to live here without even knowing what you are? Does it make any sense? You think you will do anything right with your life if you do not know the fundamental nature of who you are?
No.
Do you think you will do anything right?
No.
Can you?
No.
No. Whatever you do, at some point you'll wonder, is this what it's about? Unless you're totally closed mind, you know, you are completely closed mind, you can just believe something and go on. Otherwise, human intelligence will naturally wonder, what is this all about? Am I wasting my life? Where am I going? This is a natural question. So this is the foremost thing in your life. This is not something that you reserve for the end of your life. This is the first thing that must happen in your life is, you realize the nature of who you are. Only then you can conduct your life in a graceful way. Otherwise, in a knee-jerk fashion you handle your life, you will do what everybody else is doing. Doesn't matter if everybody is going to hell, you'll go to hell, isn't it? Nobody needs to go to hell because they'll create it right here. Isn't it? There is no need, they long ago dissolved hell. You know this? You don't know? You didn't read the news? They long ago abandoned hell because people are suffering so much here itself. There is no point, they send them to earth these days if they want them to suffer. This mind, which is the most miraculous machine on the planet, the most sophisticated machine on the planet is human mechanism, isn't it so?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
More super than the supercomputer?
Yeah.
But now, most human beings have turned this into a misery manufacturing machine. All the misery on this planet, where is the manufacturing unit? Coimbatore?
No.
Hmm? It's in your mind, isn't it? So this mind, you can operate it in a miraculous manner only if you understand the nature of what this is. If you do not understand the nature of what this is, you'll handle it by accident. If you exist here as an accident, you are a potential calamity. That should not happen to a young man like you, isn't it?
Yeah.
We do not know what great things you will do or not. If you do great things,